It's like stick your finger in me and see what happens. What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edged Mindset. We're taking a look at a cool knife from a buddy of mine, Ian. He was nice enough to send me this to check out. Let's take a look at his note here. Hey Carter, feel free to carry this Berg Mini Sweeney for a couple of weeks. She might be tiny, but she's a sassy little thing. Enjoy and let me know if you have any questions. So appreciate it so much, man. If you want to check out his Instagram, I am going to link it down in the description. Follow him. He seems like a really cool dude, obviously, because he sent me this to check out. But this is the Berg Blades Mini Sweeney. And before we begin, let's just appreciate kind of the aesthetic going on here. Matt, I assume his last name is Berg. His name is Matt. He's the owner of Berg Blades. I'm connecting the dots to assume his name is Matt Berg. I could be wrong. Maybe his last name isn't Berg, and that comes from something different. His website just says, hi, my name is Matt. But he's a firefighter turned knife maker. I'm seeing that quite a bit. But he has like a cool like fisticuffs, barber, tattoo style thing going on. That's pretty dang cool. It looks like he does custom fixed blades, and then he does overseas produced folders, and they all seem to be of somewhat smaller size in stature. And so Ian, thank you Ian, he saw in a video that I did how I'm starting to explore smaller knives, and he thought, hey, I've got this cool mini Sweeney that I really like that I'm kind of sending around to different people to check out. Maybe I'll send it to Carter. And he did, and I really, really appreciate that. Now, before we begin, I've got small knives. I've got a few. Look at this. Look how little this one is. My mini J-Cape, which is smaller than the mini Sweeney. So I am familiar with small knives. And here's the thing. Let me clarify on my small knife thing. It's not so much I don't like small knives. That's not my complete hang-up. My bigger hang-up is I don't want to sound bad here, but the cost. I struggle paying the money, and I get it. I understand why this, like, I don't know, this example. I understand why this still costs the money, right? It still has 20 CV steel, titanium, all the stuff. But for me, if I'm paying premium knife prices, I want it to be big, which is dumb. I just equate money to larger things. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying that's part of the reason I struggle with the small knives. I like them. There's a lot of small knives. Like, for example, I really want a small Sebenza or just a small CRK, but I struggle paying the money for such a small knife. Like, if I'm paying that amount of money, I want it to be big. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. It's preventing me from getting knives that I otherwise should get. But there's a reason I brought this out too, other than just to make that dumb point. I did want to talk about something I've learned about myself in small knives with deployment and things like that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me leave that up here so I don't forget. Let's do specs really quick. As always, specs will be also listed down below from the official site, right? So you don't have to take my word for it, but we're looking at about a 3-inch blade, 6 3/4 overall, 6 7/8. Almost 7 inches total length. So pretty small, but not the smallest, right? In fact, I just uploaded a video on the Isham Blade Works Black Star, which is considerably smaller than both of these, I believe. So I've handled I've handled smaller things. Insert joke below, right? Oh, of course you do, every single day. Smaller things. 20 CV steel. We've got that Stonewashed PVD, that light Stonewash. I like it. It just takes some of the shine off that PVD and just gives it a little bit of depth. I see this used a lot, and I really like it over the solid, shiny PVD. Looks really good. Nice, narrow blade there, medium thickness. Definitely not a slicer. You know, it's pretty thick behind the edge, but it's got this nice, robust tip, so you can pierce with it. And you're not going to have to worry about chipping or deforming this edge on the 20 CV steel when it's that thick. Can't really speak to the heat treat. I'm not sure who the OEM is on this, but it seems like it's one of the bigger ones. And so I'm thinking you're probably okay with that heat treat. Berg Blades logo right there. Nice hardware, nice and flush. You've got all this chamfering on the, not really bolsters, because these are more inlays. They're just full half inlays to give like a faux bolster effect. But looks really, really good. Everything is nice and chamfered. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's get a weight. We're talking small knives. And I haven't even done weight, right? That's like the number one thing. Now, I will say it's beefier than you might think. 2.8 ounces, which is low. But for a knife this size, I would kind of think it would be lower than that. 3. Okay, I thought this was actually going to be lighter. Just due to the full, you know, it's not carbon fiber, but it's like canvas micarta full scale. I thought this would actually be lighter. I stand corrected. So decent weight, but it does have a good presence in the hand. It doesn't feel insignificant, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Carbon fiber inlays here, flush on the mounting hardware. I forget the name of this. It looks like fat carbon lava, but it's got orange in it. So they call it something else. It's got a specific name, but it's very reminiscent of kind of the lava fat carbon. Backspacer right here. Oh yeah, that's right. This is limited. This is number 16 out of 30. They only made 30 in this particular configuration, which is cool. It's always fun when some of these smaller makers do limited editions of their knives. It just adds that extra touch to it. It's really, really cool. Speaking of which, when something obscene, I didn't expect to talk about this knife so much. When this company first started, they did that a lot too, where they had really low numbered releases, and it kind of builds a cool following and stuff, but eventually they kind of went away from it. 3D milled titanium pocket clip in the same finish, bolster lock here, lock bar insert, all that stuff. Really good solid lockup, no slip whatsoever. Really, really nice. What else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say in here, and then I got distracted with my own thoughts there. No lanyard hole, which is cool. I mean, not many people use lanyards anymore, so not a big deal. So let's get to ergonomics. It's very comfortable. I can actually, it's a 4-finger grip, and it's a 4-finger grip all the way down here on this choil. I mean, my pinky hangs off a little, but surprisingly comfortable for a knife this size. Same with this one. Really, really good. In pictures, if I would have seen this, I would have said it's going to be too small. I would have assumed I would have a 3-finger grip back here and then only 4 fingers when you kind of choke up at top here. But I actually get all 4 in there. I don't have really I've got long fingers. They're not super thick. They're not super girthy, if you know what I'm saying. So if you've got real big sausage fingers, it might not be the same for you, but I like it pretty good. Action on this thing is decent. It's nice and smooth and buttery. I'm getting pretty good at the reverse flick. We'll talk about that here in a second. Not quite as smooth as I would have expected from an overseas made knife kind of this configuration, at least in terms of drop shutty. You do have to kind of shake it. Now keep in mind, this is not brand new. This is not out of the box, right? This is used, it's been carried, it's been passed around. So you got to take all of this stuff with a grain of salt. You know, it might be dirty, it might have some schmutz in there. So when I say that, don't come after me if yours is buttery smooth. I would like to know, comment down below if yours drops shut more than this, but this one isn't super drop shutty, but it is smooth. Now let's get to deployment methods. For me, the primary one is this front flipper right there, and it works fantastically well. Really, really snappy, flies open. I've said this a million times. I'm not a front flipper guy, so if I can do it easily, then that means anybody can do it easily. I cannot, however, do any of the fancy ones, like the front finger, not at all. Now, when we're talking about this thumb hole, that's where I get angry. I get angry at this thumb hole. I don't like it. I can reverse flick if I really just get the tip. Oops. If I get the meat of the tip of my finger in there just right, I can flick it open. Sometimes I miss, but if I don't get the right angle, if I don't get like a direct 90 degrees in there and I kind of angle it like this, it's hit or miss. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. And what I cannot do is use my thumb at all. Whoa, okay, I stand corrected. Sometimes I can. Not the best. I would almost rather it not have that thumb hole because it's tempting, right? It's like a tempting mistress that's like, it's It's like stick your finger in me and see what happens. Um, yeah, it's a tempting little thing. I feel and I see that hole, and I just want to put my finger in there and watch the magic happen. But a lot of the times it doesn't work out and I miss it. So I'd almost prefer that opening hole not be there. Now, maybe that's just me. Maybe I got bulbous fingertips. Maybe I've got a underlying heart condition that's causing them to swell. I don't know. Maybe your results will vary and you can get in there better than I can. But for me, I would prefer thumb studs on a smaller knife or just nothing at all. Absolutely no issue getting to these thumb studs with thumb, reverse flick, all that stuff. I know you can't do a direct comparison. This is a lot wider. They've got like more real estate. I don't know if you could put a thumb stud in there without heavy chamfering, but that could be actually a solution in general. I don't know. You'd have to play with it. If you increase the chamfering right here, maybe that would give you just a little bit more room because you can see pretty thick titanium scales on here. So the distance to that hole, which is very close, makes it hard to get in there. For me, anyways. And like I said, not a big deal because primarily it's a front flipper. It's just I see that hole and I want to use it and it leaves me a little frustrated because it doesn't quite work out. But overall, this is really, really cool. It carries so nice. Doesn't catch on your pocket. It's a nice little entry. I mean, it's not redefining the definition of a small knife or anything like that, but it's very capable. It's very pointy. It looks nice. Price point on these, I think, are like $300-ish, somewhere around there. These are sold out, but I'd imagine on the secondary market, you could pick these up for a couple $100, and I would say it's worth it. If you think it looks cool and you're looking for something like this, I think it's a win. But another shout out to Ian for letting me check this out so that I can kind of increase my knife repertoire of makers. Yes, I said repertoire of makers and knives that I otherwise might not look into. As always, I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You're awesome. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't want to do it without you. All right, I'll catch you guys later. I'm out.